Namaste. This is Sister Jeannie Heaven Tolliver again, coming to you from Sisters in the Circle. I didn't know what to say this week. I've just been very, very busy with a lot of things that are just coming at me. The universe is just introducing things to me by the way of God, of course, and things that I had asked for, questions that I had given to the universe. And sometimes, you give those things away and you don't expect reciprocation. You don't expect for there to come an answer to come. And when it does, you certainly don't expect it to come as quickly as it does. Well, that has been going on with me for the past 3 weeks, I guess you would say. I would ask a question and I would ask God and I would pray and then I would meditate on it and then it would come. And just about 2 hours ago, my daughter came. There was something that occurred with me or to me yesterday when I was standing outside talking with a neighbor. And I said, okay, so if this is what you're saying to me, Lord, then I need another sign. I know I'm your child and I know I believe you, but you should also know that who I am and the fact that I'm a little infantile on certain things. So I asked for a sign, a major sign. And so my daughter came to me and said, Mom, Umi, I need you to come to the foyer. I was like, I'm not dressed. What do you need? She said, I need you to come to the foyer. So I come to the foyer and I'm like, what is it? And she points. And when she points, I'm starting to perspire now. My spirit just started flipping all throughout me. There was my answer. And so with my answer now, I have to move because I asked for a sign so that I know which way to go next. And the sign came right to my front door. So now I've got to do it. And that's pretty much it. Now, sometimes I was saying on Facebook earlier this week, sometimes we ask for signs or we ask for God's word and we look for these great big huge gigantuan enormous answers. And God sometimes just likes to whisper. Do you know what I'm saying? So mine came in a whisper 3 times in 7 days. I got the same whisper, except for this time the whisper was a little bit bigger. So it was like, heaven, look here. So since you want to ask me and since you want to test me, so to speak, I'm going to go ahead and give it to you. So I got it. Now, the reason that I'm saying this all to you is that there are times when things aren't really in focus, right? And there are things that we wish that we could remedy right away. And we're not able to because we're not in focus. Can you dig it? Now, being out of focus sometimes is a little challenging. When you're sitting in the darkness and you don't know what to do, you don't know who to call, and you may know who to call, but you don't know what to say if you do call. And if you do call, they don't say what you need to hear. So you're in a blur once again. And now you've kind of rendered yourself privy to people's interpretation of you or judgment of you. And that is not what you were seeking. My brothers and sisters, what I ask or what I suggest is that you go to your creative source, your creator, and you sit and you be still. Sometimes we move when we don't know what to do. I suggest, and it works for me, to be still. Absolutely still. Quiet. Very quiet. And listen. Because throughout the day, we talk, we give out advice, we take suggestions, we raise our children, we raise our families. We're being guided and manipulated with media propaganda, technology propaganda, sometimes mate propaganda. Sometimes we're the propaganda, and we don't listen. Listening is so wonderful. It's such a beautiful tool. And you learn a lot about yourself when you listen. Sometimes you learn that you're not a good listener. Sometimes you learn that you're not a good mirror. Some people need to have the words that they say reflected back to them. Once we start to get into focus with things, we start to grab a little piece of ourselves and we hold on to it and we keep it because we lost it before. We didn't lose it. Maybe it just got away. So you start to work on your focus and things start to come into view, I guess. And with those things coming into view, they start to make sense. People who you thought were for you, you learn that they're really not, because they're not for themselves. Focus still a little blurry, but you see a little bit clearer now. You get to see the molding of the situation, the frame of the situation. You get to start to see yourself. I suggested to a couple of my sister friends to just go and sit in front of the mirror. Not say anything. Try not to think. Just look at yourself. Can you do it? I suggested they started off with one sister. I challenged her. I did, and I told her to do it for 7 minutes. Even take a timer with you. 7. It was a bit much for her. So I said, let's try 5. That was a bit much. So we worked it down to 3. So within that 3 minutes that she sat there, she called me and she said it seemed like forever. She said, I have not taken the time to look at myself. I've not taken the time to see what's going on with me. So we do that. We get cloudy and we take on the world and we take on everybody else's situation and we start to lose sight of ourselves. We see the frame, we see the molding, but we lose sight of ourselves. What happens when you lose sight of yourself? You put everything else in front of you. This is true. But eventually you begin to regret those things that you've given precedence over yourself. You regret those people, you regret those places, you regret those things, and then you start to make them responsible for your happiness. I suggest you get into focus and find yourself. I suggest you toy around with the thought of being alone and quiet and peace and surrender to yourself, to your Lord, to your Creator, to your all in all. And you will find you. You will begin to appreciate you. And the blessings, oh my gosh, the blessings. There's a manifestation that shall occur. My beloved kindred ones, I love you. I truly do. And I was victim of myself and my giving myself away to people who at first appreciated it, but just as all humans, if you give too much, the appreciation goes into, how do you say? Demand. They feel as though it's due them. So you may cook every day for your man, even though you work just as well from 9 to 5, and he comes home by 7. So you've rushed home, you've cooked, you barely got your clothes off, you got a shirt on and sweatpants, and you're all over the place. And one day you decide, you know what, I don't feel like cooking. So you make like a small salad. Now, if he has started to take advantage of you, or stop appreciating the things that you do, he starts to lose focus of you, then he'll come home a little upset. What do you do with that? Do you become upset with him, or do you find yourself and settle yourself, sit still, explain to yourself that you can only do what you can do, and he as well can come home and help prepare dinner? You're on your way. Do not fight with people so that you can be who you want to be. It's not necessary. If they love you, which I'm sure they do, they'll appreciate you being true to you. Sometimes you have to teach people how to appreciate you. Sometimes people don't know how to appreciate others. Get into focus. Bring yourself into view. It's not being selfish. It's being appreciative of the gift that God has brought to this earth called you. Celebrate yourself. Enjoy yourself. Love yourself, and share all your wonderful ideas with yourself, and help someone along the way. And you'll see how life will blossom for you. Ask for your signs. Sit still so that you can see them and notice them. Engage in children. Listen to them. Appreciate their laughter. Look how they walk. Study their feet. Study their joy. Study the small things that make them appreciative, because guess what? You used to be there. And if you used to be there, that means that you can go back again. So, with all of this, stay focused. And if you lose focus, go get focused. No one else is going to give you clarity but you. I love you. Until next time, peace.